Welcome to The Other Side of Justice,
a podcast where we break down real cases, explore different perspectives, examine the facts, and discuss the human impact behind the headlines.
We won't always have the answers, but we believe the conversation is worth having. Welcome to The Other Side of Justice. We are here for our very first episode, which we are so excited about.
So excited.
My name is Thylene.
And I'm Jenice.
And we are going to get right into it. For this episode, we are talking about a Netflix documentary that recently came out called
The Crash.
Man, people have gone crazy about this.
Absolutely.
I've seen so much rhetoric, but also there's like a free her movement type thing as well.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much to break down within this case. We're just bringing the information and a little bit about what we think about it. Now, I will say that Jenice comes for more of an expert space, so I'm going to give her the floor.
So my background for this particular case, I think it's important to note that I do have an expert background for at-risk youth. I have a background in advocacy in the legal field, family field, and criminal. I've been around a lot of these cases. I've been in court myself since I was 14, defending myself. So I do understand the dynamics of everything. I think having two sides of everything is super important. Just because I have an expert in some things, you've got what everybody's thinking in your head.
Come from like the outside, right? A little background about me. I have been through the juvenile system personally. And it was a really rough go, and I learned so much about myself and my family dynamics and a lot about the legal system. And most of it was like what I don't like about the legal system, if I'm being completely frank. But it taught me a lot about resilience. Throughout the whole process, you're just waiting for the other shoe to fall, so to speak. And so, or like the rug to be pulled out from under you. We both had experiences. She's more of the expert. I definitely am getting my feet wet outside of my own personal case and doing a lot of advocacy and learning the ins and outs. Today was my first day being
a big boy court. I mean, you had your big girl pants on in
my space, in my juvenile space.
We went to a 3.5 and motions in lemonade because that person is going into trial. And that was all in the superior court, in the big boy court.
It was completely different outside of not only my comfort zone, but like everything outside of juvenile court is just handled so differently that it was like a completely different world. So I would consider myself somewhat an expert in my space just because I was on top of everything. It was a 4-year experience. And so I know the ins and outs of what a juvenile will go through. There's laws that changed within the last year, I would say, which is good because it means it's constantly evolving. We need to continue to see change. It's not always something that we want, but
and
any
it's not
change
always something that's happening in the way it should be.
Movement is movement. We can take and learn from what was done and then petition and do all the things to make it better. So you guys, the legal system is a beast, right? It's a beast. And that's why we want to break things down. Also, we're involved in cases. So we will definitely be bringing some of the cases with permission, of course.
Yeah, because we're also both directly impacted by the system. So that's important to express. I'm still directly impacted by the system through my family every single moment of the day, unfortunately, right now. So we have very recent experience.
And raw.
Yeah.
But I think that we have handled it in a way where you don't see a lot of people go through some of the things that we've gone through and come out on the other side wanting to start a podcast or advocating at the same time for other people. Because when you're going through the thick of it, sometimes it's tunnel vision. You have to ignore everything around you so that you can focus on one case.
Well, when you're in the thick of it, there's just no other option. When it is your direct impact, there is no question. In the thick of it, when people's lives are on the line, there's no other choice. There's no other choice.
Agreed. So today, we're talking about the crash, and
yes, we are.
I'm really pumped because I watched it and then I texted her and I was like, oh my gosh, you have to watch this. And then she watched it literally the next day. I was surprised that you watched it so quickly.
I watched it the same day.
Oh, well, because the next day I texted you you texted me and you were like talking about it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You are just as crazy as I am. I'm kind of here for it.
And for the record, today is the first day we have ever met in person.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. Met in one of the groups that we're in 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yes. And we've spoke almost every day since.
Yeah. So, I mean, 3 weeks, 5 years, who's counting? Between our views, this can be something really special where we bring to light a lot of case information, have those hard talks. Like sometimes people just don't want to talk about it because it makes either the system look bad or they just don't want to shed light on something. Well, we're here to shed a little light. So
the system is bad. It's broken.
It's broken. I'll be the first to say it's extremely broken. And it might be an unpopular opinion. I don't care. I've been in it and I know how broken it is.
For anyone who doesn't believe it's broken, stay tuned.
So let's talk about our initial reactions.
To which part?
Just as a whole.
I think my initial reaction was, I don't know. No, let me hear your, what do you?
I went in with a little bias, I think.
Okay.
One, because she is a youth.
Okay.
And two, because I just came out of my son. I'm like, I'm very like on her side.
Oh, you were. I was not. Okay.
Yeah.
If that's what we're talking about, no. Absolutely not.
I'm like, there has to be a reason.
I was very much like, I mean, she just looks suspicious.
But I went in.
It's a presumption, but it's valid. I was like, girl.
There is a split reaction, which is interesting because I think it's very clear.
I think if the shoe was on the other foot, there would not be a free her. If it was a him, absolutely not.
Oh, for sure. And let's not get started with skin color, but we do want to get into the details. But for those that have not seen the crash, I feel like this might be something that you need to skip and come back to after you watch it because we're going to get into it and there will be spoiler alerts. So if you want to pause this episode and go watch it yourself, highly recommend. But we are breaking it down. So
I believe it's the #1 movie on Netflix right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's something else we need to talk about is like there's a petition going around right now. I think it's called the Dom and Davion.
To have it removed?
No.
Oh.
To make it so that people can't commit crimes, then be rich because of it. We'll get into it. So let's talk about the documentary itself. Will you do the honors?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So this is your last opportunity to pause and come back, okay? So The Crash is a Netflix true crime documentary. It came out this year, 2026, about the 2022 car crash in Ohio where a 17-year-old named Mackenzie Shirilla intentionally drove her car into a building, killing her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, Davion Flanagan. The film reconstructs the investigation, which initially looked like an accident but became a murder case, using body cam footage, surveillance video, and interviews to explore the volatile relationship at the center of the tragedy and the shifting narrative surrounding the event. So, let's talk about it.
Yeah. First of all, we have a youth.
17?
17.
Mm-hmm. Female.
Female.
White.
She presents very cutesy, very young girl in high school living her best life. You can see that she likes expensive things.
Herself, which her friends made very clear. They said she loves herself. She would never, ever hurt herself.
Which is important to note because this case is built in a way that is saying that she meant to take all of them out. She did not expect to survive that crash.
What it's saying is, why would she do that if she could have taken herself out? That's what I got from it.
Why would she do that?
If she could have ended up dead too.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But also intent, right? If you're angry and you're arguing and you're like, fuck it, right? Your intent in that moment is not to survive that. But what they're saying
is it
100 miles an hour into a wall?
But she her only intention in my head would be that she didn't want whoever she's mad at to survive. I don't.
So
think
are
she
you
was
just saying
thinking
she's
hard
naive?
enough.
Like she wasn't in the headspace when she was angry
I don't
to
think she even
differentiate?
believes that she was wrong.
Well, I agree. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about if you love yourself that much that you would never hurt yourself and then you go 100 miles
an hour into a wall,
that's a huge discrepancy.
Valid. Yeah.
And then trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And prove
I think
intent.
this is where
people split.
This is where
Yeah.
it's like, well, like, does she love herself that much? Does she not? Where's her mental health standing?
Yeah.
Does she love him? Does she love the friend?
Yeah. I would say at the very least it's challenging. So she says in the documentary that she's had POTS, which is something with like blood sugar and you can pass out. One of the things that was asked was, well, why did you get her a driver's license? If that's something that is dangerous, a risk, why would you get her a driver's license?
Her mom's answer? Do you remember?
I think she just skated around it.
Those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was really good at that. There wasn't like a direct answer. It was kind of, it is what it is. And just plain like, oops, like it was a mistake.
The parents are like, come on.
Well, and
her
so
parents are like, come on.
Yeah.
Nothing she's doing is really a big deal.
Let's talk about her character, right? So what we need to know about Mackenzie is that
she's a bully.
She in school,
a known bully.
In school, there are records of her bullying kids pretty badly. Other kids that have complained multiple times. She's been suspended for bullying. And her dad in the documentary says, "Did you do it?" And she said, "No." And he went and picked her up, and they went out for like food, and he's like, "Okay," and he just took her out. Like
he said he believed her because she would have told him the truth.
He says, "I know when my daughter's lying." I'm like, he just believes his daughter, and I think that she knows that he believes her. She takes full advantage of that. There are videos that Dom had of her where she was pretty irate. He wouldn't let her in the house because she was yelling and screaming, and
she said she's going to beat down the door.
Yeah, she's going to cussing him out, and you know. And I struggle a little bit with that too because it's really unhealthy behavior, obviously. But I think she's been let down a lot too, in the sense that she's not held accountable. At some point, especially at her age, we were just talking about this in the car. You have to start taking responsibility for your actions. You're out in the world, and it's up to you to learn and kind of make your own judgment and figure things out. And I just don't think she was capable of that.
No, that was not an opportunity she had yet been given.
She had just graduated. And he's a little bit older.
Moved straight in with the boyfriend who had already had his... But the way it sounds is there was never a solid peace even in that relationship, especially when she moved in, for any of that to even occur.
Some of the kids that they hang out with describe their relationship as everything was fine. They were always lovey-dovey. They didn't have a ton of issues. But then the video and the text messages that they have say otherwise.
I think her friend was lying.
Which one is it, right? And who's lying?
The one who wouldn't talk to the police.
That's another part.
The bestie. I think she's hiding something. I think she's hiding a lot. I've been in those kind of toxic relationships.
I have too.
There's no way she didn't know, in my opinion. She was hiding a lot.
Yes, I agree. Especially for two people to pass that you called friends.
Best friends.
And then to say nothing to the cops.
She's the girlfriend of the guy. And so they were hanging out all the time.
Yeah, all of them.
So, no, she was, unfortunately, for some reason or another, just lying her tail off.
Yeah. It's so frustrating to me that she would not speak to the cops
Ever.
But
you'll do the Netflix documentary.
Davion's parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were very level-headed, and they just wanted accountability so that they could have closure and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like the only way they can do that is by knowing what happened in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not wrong to
Mm-hmm.
say, just tell us like it is so that we can move past this and move to, you'll never forget, but you can forgive for your own peace.
Right.
Right? But I feel like they can't do that because they don't know what they're forgiving.
Right.
I think that people just want her to say, yo, I was young. I made a mistake. I made a really bad call. And I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we see with her is I'm a victim too. Feel bad for me. I lost my boyfriend and my best friend and all of these things, to the point where in the documentary, the dad of Dom was with her as she was healing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing like what are those things called where you...
I don't have a clue.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the necklace over like the Ouija board.
Yeah, and it was like letters.
Yeah.
And it was like, I love you or something like that.
Yeah. So the dad of the boyfriend was at the cemetery with her doing this while she was in her cast and crying, and he said the words "I love you" came through, and she's bawling, "I love you too, Dom." Like,
yeah. But I think at that time, what Dom's dad was saying is that he didn't know,
because they didn't have a lot of the evidence, because they didn't know about the argument that had happened.
Right.
That the mom had not told them about.
The sister and the dad didn't know.
Yes. So, because the mom lived separately. Yeah. And so she had known that they had been getting in these arguments in the car already, and that there had been conversations just a few weeks prior. Yeah. I think it was, of, crashing the car or whatever the case was. It was something along those lines. Someone had to go and get them.
So there was text messages that Mackenzie's mom had that showed that it was the opposite, that Dom was the one that was grabbing the wheel and she was scared.
Yeah, so we should be clear. What was brought in at trial was that Dom texted his mom, said she's grabbed the wheel, she's driving recklessly, whatever the case may be. Can you, I need to get out. She won't let me get out. So the mom sent someone. But the other messages from Mackenzie's mom that are from Mackenzie don't appear until after trial. I don't see why you wouldn't bring those into play if they were real.
I agree.
You can't bring new evidence in like that. Yeah, that's not how that works.
An appeal is anything in the original
that
case
went wrong at trial. No,
well,
it's only
so she
for
can't
trial.
argue. She can't argue that it was wrong that they didn't bring it in. If they were going to bring those text messages, they should have brought these text messages.
I mean, maybe for ineffective counsel. I don't know though. That's a really sticky thing. Yeah,
like a great.
That would usually be. New evidence would be PR, a personal restraint petition, or whatever it's called in their area after an appeal that's directly related.
If you watch it, you'll see the energy is off as well. As far as, does she understand that she killed 2 people?
I think she understands. Does she care? In the way that we would care. The way what we quote unquote normal, the emotions that we would show, what that would look like is not at all what she has shown or what we saw.
But one would argue that everyone handles grief differently.
Correct.
And also, how do we tell her how she's supposed to feel, right? In the documentary, there is a point where she says her piece, and then she looks to her lawyer and she says something along the lines of, did that sound right? Was it okay? I just don't want to say anything that'll make me look bad, right?
She doesn't want to look like she's overdoing it, stuff like that. But that is all based off of her appeal. She has to be very careful what she says, because if she admits any guilt in that documentary,
She's
she
screwed.
used some of that wording, I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was specifically stated in a way that she understood that if it came out in post-conviction documents or relief, it would be a problem.
Yeah. I get that, but here's the thing. Here's where I struggle. I'm not saying she's innocent, okay? What I am saying is I've been in a position where I'm afraid to look at the wrong person, let alone speak the wrong words. Now, what you're saying is fine, but what I think that she's not thinking about is the conversations that have come out that she's had on the jail phone.
Right.
They look really bad. And then there's someone she dated while she was in jail, got out, and is a woman,
okay.
yes, and who is also speaking up to the lack of remorse. Mm-hmm. She says, when we were in jail, I totally believed her, but when I got out and actually researched,
I remember something was not true. Something didn't add up. There was something she said on the inside to them that is not the same as the outside. I'm not 100% certain what it was.
Can you look it up? I want to talk about the evidence. In an airplane crash, there's the little black box or whatever. Mm-hmm. So cars have that as well in some form or fashion. So they brought that little black box out and they investigated it. And what it showed was full throttle for the whole 5 seconds. There was no release. There was no swerving. It was just head on, 100 miles an hour. To that piece of evidence, it was argued, the POTS thing. So it was argued that she had a medical emergency. For me, in the way that I would think a medical emergency happens is that you are passed out or don't have control of your body. So one, I feel like swerving is inevitable. And I would think instead of going into a wall, I would think that the car rolling would make more sense. But also, in a medical emergency, if you don't have control over your body or you're passed out, your foot isn't pressing anymore. It has no pressure. And so your foot would come off the brake. But there is no evidence, no physical evidence of that. Also, they had a, what is it called? A motor vehicle accident expert.
Oh, yeah. They had an expert. Yes, they had an expert who came in and tested all parts of the vehicle.
Yeah,
and they
to
said
make sure there was no wrong
nothing
doing.
wrong with the vehicle.
No brakes were cut, there was no mechanical issues with the car. I wanted to believe that the brakes were cut or that something was tampered with or failed, because that would make more sense to me, to be honest. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Everything came back normal. There was no issues with the car. Deep down for me, I wanted it to be something like that. I didn't want to think that anyone's capable of that. Maybe she didn't have intent, but she had a mental breakdown, right? There's a lot of things that can happen. And I didn't want to believe that it could be anything other than a mechanical failure or
You're better than me,
medical
I definitely didn't
episode.
Ever think that it was a mechanical failure. Not ever.
Well, it didn't take long for me to figure it out.
Eyes, whatever it was, whether it was a mental break that caused her to do it, a bad decision, anger, and just whatever, I never once thought something was wrong with that car. They showed the video.
Yeah. No, I know. I know.
I mean,
but that's the
it
thing is
never
like,
even crossed my mind. I want to know, did she have a seatbelt on that night?
right, we talked
As
about this.
opposed to, because it doesn't seem like she would because of all the TikTok videos she's making with big blunts in her mouth and the coolness that she has.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, did she put on a seatbelt that night in that moment? And because while they did the investigation, the little black box showed that it went from neutral to drive and back and forth to neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And the boy in the back seat, Davion, was found in the front seat.
So did he unbuckle to try to put it in?
Or was he ever buckled? But either way,
Yeah.
how did you end up in the front seat? Unless he was sitting in the middle.
I don't know. 100 miles an hour can do crazy shit.
I've just known people to be in some pretty bad accidents and they were still in the back seat and when they were found dead.
Without a seatbelt? Or with?
Good point. She had a seatbelt.
Yeah.
She was.
So if he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, he would end up probably in the front at that speed.
Then why didn't the boyfriend end up out the window?
Airbags?
Thank you. Did her car have backseat airbags?
No.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I don't think so because when you see the cops come up, first responders, the guy walks up and he can't even see who's in the car because the airbags are out.
In the back too, or just
I
the
don't know.
front?
I didn't pay attention to that part.
Okay.
So that is something that we can review. I am disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I know it's stupid and
not
it's
shocked by any means. I don't.
Shocked is the wrong word. I'm not shocked. I'm still disappointed.
Okay, because you wanted an outcome that was.
What
did you want the outcome to be?
I wanted to find a reason
why she did it.
No.
Oh.
I wanted to find a reason that caused it other than what it seems to be.
I never for 1 second thought anything caused it for her.
Yeah. No, and I know that I'm a Gemini. There's two of me in here.
You're a Gemini? That's what it is.
It explains so much.
I'm in love with Geminis. It's a whole thing. My husband is one. I mean,
we're a lively bunch. So one side of me understands there's two of me in here. One understands what you're saying. The other one is still searching for an explanation to the outcome of what I wanted it to be.
Does this side know this not getting what this side wants?
Yes. I think I understand it, but I hate that she is that way. I hate that. I hate it. And I really was gunning for the parents too. And then I heard the mom speak in court. Because when you have a youth who goes through these really hard things and you're a part of the club that nobody wants, like, okay, my mom passed away, and I always say when someone says, oh, my mom passed away, it's a club that I don't want anyone to join. Welcome. I'm here for you, right? Yeah. But also, I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever join the club that I'm in. I feel that way very strongly about juvenile court and parents in general.
Okay.
Where there's not a lot of guidance. You have no idea what you're doing. You're navigating on your own. You're afraid to say, speak, think, blink wrong because of how it might look.
With the video, the documentary happened afterwards.
Right.
And they're still talking
but it
like
follows,
this.
yes. But being from someone who has an experience the way that I do, again.
Do you think you'd be that naive on this side of things?
Fuck no.
Because they're on this side of things and they're still acting like that.
No. But again, there's two of me in here. One really, really wants to give them the benefit of the doubt, which I can't. But I can't help my sadness in the fact that I wish that they could have been better people. The mom is giving her impact statement, and she's still talking about
the first thing
her
out
daughter.
of your mouth in an impact statement in such a situation should be, I want to say how sorry I am for those lives lost. I want to say
I think she did say that, and so I think she did say that because the video didn't show it, but I did see a clip
I
later.
thought that the judge said you still haven't mentioned.
Oh, maybe it did go that way because there's a clip after that. It's very little. She does turn
Obviously.
around. She says, "Can I speak to them?"
Which, no, you cannot.
No, the judge gave her permission.
Oh.
And she turns around and she says, "I am so sorry for any pain that was caused or whatever." It was very minimal. But the main part of her impact statement was still her daughter. And a part of me is like, I get that. You're fighting tooth and nail for your baby. I get that. But the other part of me is like,
But the
2
point of the
lives are
impact
lost
statement
and you
is
are
for her to talk about her daughter, though. She, from her standpoint, what she's supposed to do is say, my daughter's a good person. My daughter would never intentionally do this.
It was
I
the
think that
impact
the judge
statement
was just
for.
so upset that she wasn't having
Okay,
it.
explain this to me though.
Okay.
Because I never have been through an impact statement. We didn't have.
So no,
that.
someone can speak on behalf of the defendant. Multiple people can. I've been in a courtroom where 5 people spoke on behalf of the defendant. He killed my godson. He hit him drunk, drove away, whatever. Whole nother story. We'll talk about maybe a different time.
Yeah.
He drove away. 5 people got on that stand and said that he was a good person. They didn't talk about my godson. No, they said, they all started with, I'm so sorry for your loss. Cool. Then only one of his family members said, my brother has a problem. Speaking on the defendant, saying, in our culture, we don't discuss that. We don't talk about feelings, but he has a problem with the drinking, whatever. But the point was to paint a picture for the judge of why he shouldn't get a certain sentence. So that judge was just tired of it.
Are you sure? Because I
am
feel
100% okay.
Because I feel like this was impact statements meant for.
That's just not how that works.
It's not. Okay.
She wouldn't do that. Why would she? She's sticking up for her daughter. That's why she's speaking. And that's her right.
True.
She's allowed.
Okay.
And
So I had missed
her mindset would think to do that. The mom.
No.
I don't believe she would even think to step up and say that these boys were such great. But her mentality, the way
because she specifically said Davion was a new friend. And the judge says, does that mean his life is any less?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, because she's like, well, we don't really know.
And I'm like, this mom is really striking out. Like,
well, she struck out right along with her daughter.
Yeah,
Dad
I
was
agree.
the third strike. Like, you're out. And that's what happened. Yeah.
And then there was another thing that people were talking about. The shirt that the dad chose to wear for the interviews on the documentary is like this big shirt that says boom, and it's like a big crash on his shirt.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what it was.
Yeah.
He's been suspended indefinitely from work.
I heard that as well. Yeah.
I don't know that you are allowed to do that.
To suspend someone because of something outside of.
I mean, don't know his job. I didn't look into it. So.
School. He works at a school with children.
Not funny. Well,
actually, can you look that up? Because I'm pretty sure he works with kids.
So I think that you could paint that in a light, like if you think a kid should be getting high under the age of 18, that's a concern if you work in a school full of children.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense.
We should definitely double check that. But I'm curious what people think about the shirt. Did he just put a shirt on and that's it? Like, he just picked a shirt and it's not a factor?
I don't even think he thought about it.
Probably not, but everybody else did because it came up.
Art and digital media teacher.
There you have it, folks. And now he's on administrative leave. Does it say paid or unpaid?
It says administrative leave and suspended. I think that's the same thing, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Following backlash over comments he made defending his daughter. So I assume these would be the comments
about smoking weed.
Yeah.
Probably. That would be my assumption. So let's clarify that.
The first one, for dismissing her marijuana use, for commenting on the victim's money, admitting to feeling guilt about being happy for his daughter and knowing that Dom and Damien had passed away. And I don't think that's how he said that.
I don't think he did.
I don't think that's it. That's no.
And then the unwavering defense of her innocence. I don't think you can put someone
You
on the leave
cannot.
because you believe your daughter's innocent. That's so.
But the first
I do
two,
believe
they have enough in the first two.
Don't even think the second one. I think it's really just marijuana. Commenting on the victim's money.
I don't understand that.
He appeared to justify Mackenzie's toxic relationship with her deceased boyfriend, Dom, by saying the boy wasn't hurting for money, okay? And I think that helped Mackenzie a little bit because Mackenzie likes things, you know?
He did say
Yeah, but that's not a reason to suspend someone.
No,
The
no,
top one
it's
is
not.
absolutely a thing, and I don't know if he knows that usually people don't refer to weed as dope anymore.
Can someone update my boy, please?
So I'll just say what he said, and for anyone who doesn't know. While addressing footage of Mackenzie smoking, which they did a lot, smoking out of the bong, in the closet, smoking in the car while driving constantly. You're just this big, huge, crazy. Anyway, I don't have a problem with her smoking dope. If you're going to smoke a drug, that's the one I believe you should take. You know, she's not shooting up. First of all, you don't take dope unless it's not weed. But
Second of all,
you're a teacher. She's underage. And you
don't know what's a gateway drug. Like, people have different issues, right? Like,
and it was a gateway because she was on shrooms.
Yeah, she was definitely doing shrooms.
Every couple day basis, according to what everyone said.
And they were selling them, from what I could tell.
And so that was what they wanted to believe, including the dad of
Dominic?
Nope.
Davion.
They wanted to believe she was high on shrooms, and this was an accident caused by a group of kids got together, and it turns out she wasn't high at all.
They did a blood test. The tox report came back that she was clean on everything.
They were, right? They decided not to do them. But that was the intention when I went to the spot they were at.
Yes.
But they ended up not doing them. She didn't have anything in her system.
And then Davion decided he almost wasn't in the car. He had decided, actually, because he was going to go with another friend, but he's like, I want to go home, take a shower, sleep a little bit in my own bed. And then he had plans with one of the other friends later. So he was going to just stay with him, but he had decided he wanted to go home. And that's the only reason he was in the car, which is devastating. Like, fucking devastating.
Yeah. And he had survived a really hard life.
Right.
Where
he was in foster care with his siblings, and they were all adopted. I think they were fully adopted by their mom and dad. And they were so loved. You can tell they were just so loved. And he was doing football, and I think something happened to where he needed surgery or something. It took him out, and then after he wasn't like doing football, that's when he started hanging out with
these
other
new friends,
people,
which his parents warned him about.
Yeah. So that's more of his story. Yeah. Listen to your parents. So Davion wasn't meant to be in the car. It was a last minute decision. They weren't on any drugs because they had decided it was too late and they didn't want to do them at that time.
Yep. There was no car malfunction.
Yep.
There is a claim of POTS. She doesn't remember it. Here's the problem. She remembers everything right up until they make this slow, very calculated, very aware turn. There was no reckless driving, no anything like that. And then you make this nice turn, and then all of a sudden on the cameras you see straight down. Also, it had turned out, did you see that she had went down that road a couple days before?
Yeah, I heard about it. I don't think that was in the documentary.
No, it wasn't.
But there is information that has surfaced since the documentary, such as calls between her mom and herself while she's in jail. There's footage that I just noticed had come out from the police as far as their body cam, which I think is...
There's body cam in the Netflix thing.
New body cam.
Okay.
As far as I know. So we can revisit this another time after we have done that. But that was recent, like within the last couple of days that I noticed. And then there are things that are surfacing.
They're just things that should have surfaced already.
Right. That's what I was going to say is I don't know if there's much you can do other than reflect on the things that are coming out right now.
So legally what she could do is in some post-conviction relief, she can try to bring to light these text messages that shown that maybe he had caused in, that maybe he was, the aggressor in the past. But a judge would have to decide, is this enough evidence that it would affect the case, the outcome of the case? Because if not, the answer is no. You don't get any trial.
Right. There's not going to be a ton that you can do change or whatnot, but
But they're going to try.
They're going to try. I want to talk about, I don't think she has a lot of shame or accountability.
Shirilla the Killer is what they call
That
her.
is, I heard that. And that came out because the girlfriend. That's the girlfriend that came out of. Oh, yeah. So the girlfriend that came out of
27-year-old.
Oh, she's 27.
27.
Didn't know
and
that.
They were only together 2 weeks.
They formed a relationship of some type, and she felt comfortable acting a certain way and talking to this person, confiding in this person. And this person, the girlfriend,
Yep.
believed her.
That's true.
And when she got out of jail, no longer believes her.
No, she looked at evidence. Also, she did state that there was some red flags while she was in there. Like a lot of, I was just reading her stating, that she'd be like, you need to be all over me when they're in the yard. For anyone who doesn't know, that's when you're outside in a prison. They call it the yard, big yard, little yard, whatever. They met running the track. So that's how they met, out in the yard. The girlfriend says that she would get mad and be like, you need to be holding me more. You need to make a scene, basically, and show that we're together. But she still, she believed her. She got out and started reading things. And then after they broke up, I was just looking, and it did say she started receiving some funky messages from her in some shape or form. That
We're not privy
peaceful.
to.
Yeah. So.
We don't have access to the messages that were sent?
No, not directly. She said that she introduced herself that they call me Shirilla the Killer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It really makes me sad, for her, that she feels like that's how she needs to act.
That is her to me. I don't think that's not her. This is where we differ on this.
Well,
extreme. I think that she's got mental health issues
that
are
part.
so extreme.
Yes.
That's
conditioning.
Who she is.
And conditioning from a very young age to not have any consequences.
So here's the messages. The ex-girlfriend said she didn't receive them directly, obviously, from Mackenzie, because obviously that would get her in a lot of trouble. But she said that after, Topping is her last name, after she posted the breakup videos, she began receiving chilling anonymous texts that included her mother's name, her exact home address, and vague, scary threats that made her fear for her life. For the record, Mackenzie's got quite a fan club, so we don't know
if it was her or not.
Yeah.
Without.
Free Kenzie.
Without.
So they say, I don't.
Right. Without being able to tap into those text messages and trace where that came from. We can't
still
say.
Wouldn't matter. Yeah, she could have. She could have had someone else send
That's
them.
true. Hey, do this for me.
Had to have someone else send them. She would not, on her own, send those messages and risk being caught. Is what I mean.
But she doesn't seem to have much of a.
Oh no, she's smart as hell. That little girl is smart. Let's not play a sick game here. She's mentally ill and she's smart as shit.
Manipulative. Call it what it is.
Really, she's smart. I think she's really smart.
Being smart.
She's absolutely manipulative.
Also, yes.
I mean, there's no question about that. She's smart. She knows what she's doing.
Well, being smart and being remorseful are two different things.
If she was smarter.
If she was smarter. Listen.
She'd come up with some. At least pretend. That's
you
where
can't
the
even
mental
do that.
health comes into play.
Yeah.
And that is where your mind is about the youth.
Yeah.
And mental health.
It's so hard.
She's ill, and I don't think that she would like help.
I get that, but that doesn't change that it's not a sad situation for everyone. Everyone loses in this.
Sad for
there
those
are
boys
no
and
winners.
their families, and that her parents raised her to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah, her mom just rubbed me wrong. I am not a fan of her mom.
Her mom called. It's on. They released the tapes of the prison call. She said, "Your Netflix series does." She goes, "What?" It's so
and this is where Kim Kardashian comes in, because she says, I wonder if Kim Kardashian will pick it up and get me out of here. But Kim did comment.
So I guess it was a source close to Kim formally responded and said her team explicitly stated that Mackenzie's case is not within her purview or focus.
That's a nice way of
The
saying.
statement clarified that Kardashian's criminal justice reform work strictly targets individuals who have been wrongfully convicted or prisoners who have clearly demonstrated rehabilitation and deserve a second chance.
So,
I do believe she deserves restorative practices to be applied.
100%, but she has to do it and believe it. Like, she has to do the steps and show that she's learning and growing, and she's not doing that right now. I think she
But
still
do
thinks
you
her
think
mom is going to come and
she-
save her.
But do you think she can with her youth brain?
No, I think she needs more time. I think she can. I think potentially she can, but it won't be now. Maybe when she has a frontal lobe. I don't know.
She's 21 years old.
Your
She's
frontal
a
lobe doesn't
female.
fully. Okay, fair. So maybe, I think scientifically, and this is a guess, don't come for me, but I think it's
For a
23
female?
for a girl and 25 for a male. But I could be wrong. We can fact check that too. But regardless, not everyone has the same life experiences regardless of the frontal lobe. But do I think she's capable? I think anybody is, no matter how you get the right combination of meds and your chemistry starts firing properly
Mm-hmm.
and you get the right help. Do I believe that it can happen? Absolutely, for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think she's ready or it's going to happen now based on what we know? Fuck no.
I think she needs a lot of mental health support. And I do want to be clear, this is not ever a dig at people who do struggle with mental health.
No.
But I think that hers is clearly extremely severe.
Yeah.
I do think, in my opinion, and the judges, it ended the life of those two boys.
Yep.
I don't think she's ready to face that.
Could that
Very
be a trauma
sad.
response? I'm just asking.
A trauma response to her.
Everyone responds to trauma differently, right?
Mhm.
So maybe she, like, some part of her knows that she's responsible and this is her way, her body's way of, like, protecting herself. Now, would that happen for shorter term? Probably. Would it still be happening now? Probably not. But it's just a thought that came into my mind. Like,
Yeah.
people protect themselves in different ways.
I
Like,
think she's protecting herself for sure.
yeah. Well,
I don't know if
protecting
it's a
A1.
trauma response. I don't know. It's a response, all right.
Because there was a girl, and this is another one that we can cover too. There was the guy that killed like the 4 students in college, and there was a 5th roommate who was there.
downstairs.
Yeah, and she
And the dog.
saw him. Like, she opened the door and saw him, and like froze, and then she shut the door and like hid. And people are like, "Why didn't you call 911 right away?" Blah 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 blah. Right? And there's like trauma
That
responses. That is a
trauma response.
Okay.
That is another. I mean, but there are ongoing trauma responses. There's no
Yeah.
question about that. Like we were just discussing earlier, how many years into life I'm 40. I'm
Yeah.
just now healing from my trauma, and I still respond to certain situations in a certain way based off what I've suffered in my past.
Yeah.
So
It takes a lot of awareness and a
Yeah.
lot of support and love, I think, to
yes.
get through something
Yes.
like that.
And I don't think she has it in a healthy way. I don't think, because her parents are not giving it in a way that's like, let's talk about this. Do you,
Right.
can we, like, did they sit down before she was arrested and say, if you ever get arrested, this is the story we're going with, and we're not switching up? Or do they truly believe?
It was an
Because-
accident.
I mean, some people, many parents just cannot ever put it in their mind that their child could be guilty.
Of something heinous. Yeah.
And some parents are a little more, I'm the kind of parent who, whether they're right or wrong, I'm going to do what I can to support them. And if it was her and she was my child, whether she did it or not, I would say, hey, let's make sure the proper steps are taken. Her constitutional rights are being upheld through this entire process, that we get the best care possible for her,
Yep.
things of that nature.
I agree. As a parent, I'm
That's
also that way.
not what's happening
Right.
here.
I feel like as a parent, I'm very similar, where I'm
Mhm.
like, even if you did something bad,
Even
we're going to face it together
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to tell the truth because that's the right thing to do. And then we will work from that space through it and grow from that. Never, ever in my mind as a parent did I ever, especially going through certain things, did I ever think, let's cover it up or like, let's ignore certain things.
Well, let's be real. The truth always comes out.
The truth does always come out. And I know that from my own experience. And that is what I have said many times to my children is it will come out eventually. You're just elongating the process. So why don't we have a conversation and get all the information out? I can't help if I don't know or if I'm surprised by something. Let's just get it all out on the table.
I always tell when I get a call from school, how about you tell me what they're gonna tell me?
Exactly. And my
I
son
don't want to play this game.
My son tells me. My son's like, listen, Mom, I did that. I'm like, good. I'm so glad that you recognize that you did this. Now, do you understand what's wrong about this? Like, do you understand why this is not okay? Yeah. Well, why? Tell me in your words why. Tells me, okay, well, here, I would adjust here. Here's what let's think a little bit bigger here. But you're not bad. You're just learning, right? I think that the communication piece is so huge. And letting your kids take accountability, because if you don't, they're going to turn 18. The world's going to smack them up. And then they're not going to have any tools. And they're going to come back to you and be like, hey, fix this. And you're going to be like, listen, this is the real world. And I have way less access out there than I do when you live in my own home. And that is what I learned. I've done that in my own life with my own trauma and my own things. And we were talking earlier, I said, when you point one finger at someone, there's 3 more pointing back at you. Always look at everything here. And then if you're good and you've done every check-in, awareness-wise, in your own body, thought, everything, and you're like, I actually think I did act with integrity. I think I actually did handle this really well. Then you look outward.
Was she raised with integrity?
Exactly my point.
All right, then. Yeah, I don't, the enabling, my kid smoked dope, it's better than the other, instead of, hey, why don't you wait to make that decision when you're old enough to make it? And when you live in my house and under my roof, how about no?
Right.
How about we focus on school? How about they're letting
And I'm
her-
not stupid that you might go out and explore, but I'm not
Absolutely.
going to enable and allow in my house. So I'm not going to give you the golden
And many
tears.
parents do, and that's where the question comes in of why. And a lot of parents are unhealed, unknowledgeable, unknowing of the effects that it will.
Or they've given up. Or they've gotten to a point where they're like, I can't do this anymore, and they just give up.
Or some parents don't actually believe or know that it's wrong. Some parents want it to be, do it in my home.
So that I can protect you
somewhere
and
else.
it's safer.
Right.
Well, especially with being on the street. I don't know if we can say that. I might have to block that out. But so much is laced. So I get why, I get what they're saying. But at the same time, like, how do we don't have kids?
No, don't have.
I'm kidding. I'm low-key kidding. I love my children. I love my children with every fiber of my being. But this is what I'm talking about. These are the decisions that you have to make.
We were all healed people before we had children.
Right. I was raising babies, and I know
I
that
definitely
you were
was.
for sure
Yeah,
that.
For sure.
Some people get out unscathed. Like, some people just have kids that just kind of skate through and they do really well. But the world is changing, and it's harder to navigate with everything that's happening right now. There are a lot of things I would have talked to my kids about sooner had I known some of the things that happen in these cases age appropriately, right?
I did. Listen, it doesn't matter whether they know or not. I'll tell you right now, and you could tell them till the cows come home, they're going to make youth mistakes.
Right.
However, do
100%.
I believe this is one of those?
I mean, it is a mistake.
Youth make mistakes all the time. And there's a lot of people who've been convicted of crimes. There are people, great people who've done very bad things. They've taken the lives of very amazing people. The difference is they take accountability, right? Awareness. They say they're sorry. They try to fix younger generations. They don't walk around calling themselves Shirilla the Killer.
Right. But I also think that let's give her a few more years in jail to realize that Kim Kardashian's not coming to save her and see what she does with it, right?
What do you think the potential is? Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think she might do with it?
I don't know. Maybe she is that way. Maybe you're right. Right? Maybe you're right.
There's something about her. It just doesn't sit right.
You're not wrong. I feel that. But remember, there's two of me in here. So I can feel that, and alongside that, be aware that there's potential.
There's always potential.
There.
No question. I really hope that wherever she's located has serious restorative justice practices.
Yeah.
She needs therapy. She needs victim impact awareness. She needs to learn to be an adult, to learn to take accountability.
Emotional intelligence. Maybe
I'm
some
not
meds.
a psychologist, but that's
Maybe some meds
I
to get her
mean-
on a level to before she does.
yeah, because
But-
it would show that she's a very angry human.
We
you know?
do have to say, though, we are not doctors and we are not
That part.
recommending
No,
anything, especially to youth. Don't come for us.
she's an adult, by the way.
Oh, yeah, she's 19 now. But,
21, I thought.
oh, okay. In the
22, she was
in
7.
the documentary, she was 19, I think. So she might be 20 or 21 now.
21. I just read it. I was thinking about this. The Free Kenzie Club, the blah, blah, blah.
Okay, let's talk
Would-
about it.
No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about, would it be Free Kevin? If it was a man, a boy who had killed 2 girls, who had sent those text messages telling his girlfriend he's going to break down the door, that she's never breaking up with him, that this, that, and the other. Would it be Free Kevin? Because I don't think it would.
Absolutely not.
No. He would have been forced into a plea deal unless he was.
Say it. That's what we're here for.
I mean, he'd be forced into a plea deal regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, in my opinion, if he was of color, he'd take the plea deal knowing he was going down.
Yeah.
If he's white, there's a chance he's still going to try and take it to trial.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Because there's a chance he might still win. Not if he is of color, though.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely
I
not.
agree.
Take the plea deal.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. She opted out of a jury trial.
She did.
She
had a choice.
In her state, she had a choice of having a jury of her peers or just having the judge, and she chose the judge. What do you think about this?
I always feel like I would opt for a jury trial.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because
Tell me more.
one person, you're choosing not only whether you're innocent or guilty, but that same person decides your sentence,
Yeah.
and they've already chosen to make you guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You roll the dice, especially if you're white. 'Cause
Yeah.
your jury is going to be mostly white people, mostly white women.
We were just at a jury case
Yeah.
this morning, and the amount of white women on that
Well,
jury,
I thought a lot of those were Hispanic.
some
I
couple
felt
were,
good about
couple
that,
were.
actually a lot better than most.
Okay,
I've
but
seen.
that trial specifically needed a few more men that weren't too young or too old. I'm just saying.
Valid. But
We'll talk
I
about
did
that another day,
feel
but-
a lot better about that. But in general, I'm just saying.
You're
in
saying
her
12
shoes-
people or one person? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and in her shoes, definitely a jury. Like there was no question. Like, put the little puppy owl guys on and
Which she did.
hope for some men.
But she had a woman judge too.
that part, and that judge was not happy.
That judge was not, saw right through her and
we
her
only
parents.
saw bits and pieces of what
Man.
very small pieces.
I wish I could have been at that trial.
We could read the transcript.
I don't know.
Just-
It might irk
We've
me.
got some better stuff that we could be reading.
I agree. I feel like that is a lot of information. We really have kind of two different opinions here,
Yes, we do.
which is healthy, I think, because
Yeah.
we're even though we're very similar, we're
Yeah.
still we've had our own experiences and apply two different lenses to this whole experience.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing to have to carry into our next episodes. My goal is so that we think.
Right.
I want
Make each other
to,
think,
yes.
make the audience think.
If you feel opposed to anything that's said, this is a free and safe space. I want people to say that, and let's talk about it. Like, this is how we learn and grow.
There's nothing wrong with the difference of opinion,
Agreed.
as long as it's not hateful.
Yeah, right. I also agree with that. We are so excited wrapping up our
excited.
very first episode.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to, what are we called?
The other side of justice.
The Other Side of Justice. I'm so glad that you guys were here. Any suggestions, make sure that you put them in the comments below. We are going to be available anywhere that you watch podcasts. And make sure that you tune in next time.
Until next time.
Podcast adjourned.